the tragic Air India disaster on June 12th in Ahmedabad essentially eliminated Boeing's commercial presence at the Paris Air Show. No new orders were to be unveiled at the air show from Boeing. On the commercial aircraft side, the air show was set to be very unusual indeed. As Simple Flying's Dylan Shah had reported just prior to the air show, this year's event was not going to perform as well as previous editions in terms of aircraft orders. Analysts had predicted around 800 aircraft orders, driven by global aircraft demand that remained unfazed by recent developments from the administration of US President Donald Trump and the uncertainty stemming from his tariff announcements. Like it or not, Airbus was always going to be the winner at this air show. Playing on home turf, the European conglomerate has often attempted, often successfully, to outdo its competitors at this particular aviation event. In addition, Boeing's performance was going to be slightly less pronounced after a slew of new orders from Middle Eastern airlines during Trump's trip to the region. It also won an order for 32 Boeing 787-10s and 6 777-9s from the International Airlines Group on May 9th. Then the Air India tragedy took place, taking the lives of all but one of the 242 people on board and at least 30 more on the ground. Boeing's Paris Air Show presence was subsequently downsized, and the company's CEO Kelly Ortberg and Commercial Airplanes President Stephanie Pope cancelled their trips to France. Understandably, they were taking a step back to support the investigation in India. The company's marketing team told journalists the following: "Our focus is on supporting our customers rather than announcing orders at this air show." But how did orders pan out in the end? Well, Airbus won by a massive margin given that its main competitor Boeing was effectively out of the race. The European plane maker managed to accumulate orders for 248 airframes, including firm orders, memoranda of understanding or MOUs, and letters of intent or LOIs. More specifically, the orders are as follows. Avi Lease, a lessor headquartered in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, announced an initial order for 10 A350F freighters and 30 A320neo family aircraft. This order also saw options for another 12 A350F freighters and 25 A320neo family aircraft. Egypt Air disclosed a firm order for an additional 6 A350-900s as part of its expansion strategy. The agreement takes the airline's total order for the type to 16. Starlux Airlines of Taiwan signed a firm order for the purchase of 10 additional A350-1000 aircraft. MNG Airlines, a logistics provider based in Turkey, signed a memorandum of understanding for 2 A350 freighters. The largest order in terms of airframe quantity by far was Vietjet's announcement for 100 A321neos with options for another 50. Also on the narrow-body side, Japan's All Nippon Airways placed an order for 14 additional A321neo for its mainline operations, as well as 10 A321neo and 3 A321XLR for its group airline Peach Aviation. A notable order came from LOT Polish Airlines, which placed a firm order with Airbus for 20 A220-100s and 20 A220-300s. This marked the first time Poland's national carrier has selected Airbus aircraft as part of its fleet modernization. The Star Alliance member agreed to options for an additional 44 A220 airframes. It's a move away from the existing regional fleet of Embraer E-jets. As reported by Flight Global, the defection to Airbus prompted a skeptical reaction from Embraer, which insisted the E2 is the best aircraft for the carrier with regard to economics and sustainability. The Brazilian firm then stated, "However, we understand we are living in an exceptional moment where geopolitics play an important role," hinting that the deal was not just about aircraft performance. But perhaps the order that made the biggest splash was Riyadh Air placing a firm order for 25 A350-1000 aircraft with options for another 25. The Saudi startup has already committed to ordering up to 72 Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner aircraft, with 39 confirmed and options for 33 more. To power its Dreamliners, the airline signed a deal with GE for 90 GE NX-1B engines. Embraer also boasted a fairly modest performance, securing 77 aircraft in firm commitments, once again including MOUs and LOIs, and 55 options. The most significant for the Brazilian company was, of course, SkyWest Airlines' announcement for 60 aircraft with purchase rights on 50 additional aircraft. Chip Childs, president and CEO of SkyWest, said, "As the largest E175 owner and operator worldwide, we're pleased to continue growing our E175 fleet and enhance our dual-class footprint. This order enables us to advance our long-term fleet strategy and to continue to deliver the premier regional product in the industry." The flip side of this particular story is that it further solidifies the status of the E175-E2 as a stale project that is unlikely to proceed in development anytime soon. While being more efficient than the E1, the E2 variant is heavier and is thus outside the scope clause. But moving on to the turboprop side, ATR announced a deal with Texas-based JSX to lease 2 ATR 42-600s, while also signing a letter of intent for 15 new ATR Highline-equipped aircraft and another 10 as options. ATR Highline is the company's collection of high-end cabin interiors. As you may have noticed if you are following the event, Boeing did receive an order for 45 airframes from Japanese carrier All Nippon Airways, or ANA. However, this was only firming an existing agreement that was announced in February. All of ANA's orders shown in the chart you see here were already announced earlier in 2025. Boeing was initially expected to make a few announcements at this year's airshow. Per the rumour mill, the manufacturer was likely going to unveil orders for up to 40 Boeing 777Xs from Air India and 20 Boeing 737 MAX 7s from Ethiopian Airlines. It is possible that neither of these agreements was going to happen anyway, as no official confirmation had been provided. But as we noted earlier in this video, Boeing instead focused on supporting its customers. It showed off its Boeing 787 and Boeing 777 products through static displays, with Riyadh Air and Qatar Airways providing the respective planes from their fleets. No matter which airlines may have been planning to order more 787 Dreamliners, the fact that the cause of the Air India crash had not yet been determined would have resulted in poor optics for airline customers. Indeed, one has to think that prospective 787 customers around the world are now waiting for details on the investigation and cause of the crash before committing to the aircraft type. Did you catch all the big news from the Paris Air Show? Which order are you most excited about, and what are your thoughts on Boeing's quiet presence at the event? Let us know by leaving a comment. In addition to our daily YouTube videos, Simple Flying publishes over 150 articles and a podcast every week. Visit simpleflying.com.